Hello and welcome to this latest one in our series of national election debates. The National Election Debates, a forum, a series of 6 or 7 big debates on different subjects leading up to a super general election, national election debate. The idea of the national election debates, ladies and gentlemen and viewers joining Times Now, wherever across India and the 46 countries where we are broadcasting this evening, is simple on critical issues which will probably affect the way people vote: corruption, communalism, leadership, economy, foreign policy, and other such issues. An open debate in which we can go into each of these issues in detail. The purpose of this is this: the audience here, as well as people watching this program, can look at the detailed positions taken by various parties here on our debate and then decide which way we want to vote. The subject of this debate is this: in terms of leadership, who has the edge? The BJP, the Congress party, or a third front / federal front / coalition government? Let's put it simply: who has the edge, the Congress, the BJP, or a coalition government? What do you want? And the rules are very, very simple. First of all, let me introduce my guests today. Starting from my left, we have 4 fantastic panelists. Let's give each of them a round of applause as I welcome them. And our first speaker from the left will be, we have 4 speakers, I'll introduce them all. Abhishek Manu Singhvi is a member of parliament in the Rajya Sabha. He represents the Congress party, spokesperson for the party, a renowned lawyer, has served as additional Solicitor General in 1997-98, one of the youngest people in India to hold that post. In the year 2001, he was appointed national spokesperson of the Congress party, and following his election to the Rajya Sabha, he has been part of several parliamentary committees, including the Lokpal Committee. An alumnus of St. Stephen's College, Trinity College, Cambridge, and Harvard University. His credentials academically and politically are impeccable. Dr. Singhvi, thank you very much for joining me. And to his left, the youngest panelist on this panel today, Gaurav Bhatia of the Samajwadi Party. You may have seen him defending the indefensible as far as the Samajwadi Party is concerned on several occasions. A man of impeccable reputation and legal skill, appointed as the Assistant Advocate General of Additional Advocate General of Uttar Pradesh, I stand corrected, in May 2012. He is the National President of the Legal and Lawyers Wing of the Samajwadi Party and has represented his party leaders Mulayam Singh Yadav and Akhilesh Yadav before the Allahabad High Court and the Supreme Court. Gaurav Bhatia, one of the feistiest voices from the Samajwadi Party. Welcome. Welcome to the debate. It's good to see. It's good to see the sub-40 generation on our national election debate. Good way to go, Gaurav. Good to see you. Not sub-40, but still young, and very much young at heart. Derek O'Brien, a man of many talents, famous as a quizmaster, an author, and now a politician. Derek started his profession as a professional journalist for the Sports World magazine, eventually moving on to Ogilvy. On the political front, he joined the All India Trinamool Congress in the year 2004. Currently, he is the National Vice President of the All India Trinamool Congress and its leader in the Rajya Sabha since August 2011. He has held various positions in parliamentary committees and since August 2009. Derek O'Brien.
No, don't get me into trouble. I'm not the leader, I'm the chief whip.
Chief whip.
My boss will get angry with me, yes.
Well, Derek O'Brien.
It's okay.
I can still give you a round of applause.
Yes, thank
Derek
you.
O'Brien.
Thank you.
A loyal member of the Trinamool Congress. Good to see you smile. We all grew up seeing you on the other side. I'm very happy today that you're on the other side, Derek. And you won't ask any quiz questions either. and our fourth panelist today, Ravi Shankar Prasad. He is a BJP MP in the Rajya Sabha. He's currently the deputy leader of the opposition in India's upper house. A lawyer by profession, his association with politics goes to the 70s. First elected to the Rajya Sabha in April 2000 during the NDA regime, Minister of State in different portfolios: coal, steel and mines, law and justice, information and broadcasting. Part of the BJP National Executive, has served in the roles of General Secretary and Chief National Spokesperson. A very experienced man, Ravi Shankar Prasad. Thank you for joining me today. And the rules of this debate are fairly simple. We will have 2.5 minutes, 2 to 2.5 minutes as opening comments. There will be interjections, and interjections can be brief in 30 seconds. If you cross 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes in your opening comments, the buzzer goes off. The questions have to be pointed within 30 seconds. After we finish the opening round, we'll have a show of hands who's voting on which side. After that, I will ask 4 questions to all the 4 parties to try and steer the debate in a certain direction, and by the end of it, we'll have an open debate and have another vote of hands, show of hands. If you wish to interject, you can interject at the end of a person's what he says. You can interject in the middle. If you feel anyone saying something factually incorrect, you can raise your hand and say fact check. Fact check means the other side has to concede. But be sure, gentlemen, that you have your facts right when you're doing a fact check. Our opening speaker today, on the defensive, I presume, on this subject, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, on the issue of leadership.
You're totally wrong, as many times. No question of being defensive. I think for the debate to be meaningless, we should start looking at the qualities of a leader. A leader does not have to have muscular aggression to be a leader. There can be people whom you think are leaders, but they can be bad leaders. I think innovation is a key to leadership. I think the ability to mold consensus is a key to leadership. I think the ability to be able to carry people with you is a key to leadership. I think the person who is able to not only say that he knows the way, but is able to show the way is leadership. And most importantly, I think a true leader is one who does not blame others, takes the blame himself, and has humility. So while you might consider, and he was in a sense a very great leader, Hitler, but he was not an effective leader. He was perhaps instrumentally a great leader, but morally repugnant. You have leaders who are too rigid. You have leaders who are otherwise too full of themselves. So I think we have to put this debate within the confines of what a leader should be. I am not suggesting, by the way, that any one person is the ultimate leader. I don't even want to suggest it for the Congress party. I don't want to suggest it for the Congress president or for a previous Congress prime minister or for Rahul Gandhi. But I do want to say that leadership qualities in a large, abundant measure have been in the party in persons who have given this country governance for many decades. After all, even in the recent past, when have you seen 10 years of continuous governance by one party? It can't be that just because there are elections, just because there is a certain amount of anti-incumbency, just because on the economic front you have 8.5 very good times and you have 1.5 years of not so good times, your memory is supposed to be so selective that you will forget all the good times. So I think at the end of the day, you must define leadership and then you will go into the nitty-gritty of what these leaders have done with those qualities.
Thank you very much for your opening comments. Any interjections from any of our other panelists? Would you like to have interjections, or are you letting Dr. Singhvi off the hook right at the start? Are you letting him off the hook? You're all letting him off the hook?
I have only one interjection to make.
Please go ahead.
A leader, consensus builder, corruption happening, looking the other way, citing compulsions of coalition politics, scam after scam, is thinking corruption, yet looking the other way. What kind of leader is this? A consensus builder or playing havoc with the country? That I would like to know from Mr. Singhvi.
I thought we started the debate on the principle of it. Let's not get into the nitty-gritty straight away. But since you have, let me tell you, a leader is not somebody who can guarantee the prevention of corruption. A leader is somebody who, when corruption happens, is seen to be taking action. There is no government, I repeat, certainly not an NDA government, certainly no other party government, which has taken pointed action whenever not even credible, not even proved allegations of corruption have come. And let me tell you one more thing. You don't have to be, as I said, muscularly arrogant to be a leader. Dr. Manmohan Singh is not in the true sense a politician. He's a renowned academic. He has been feted by top newspapers. But what have you got in 10 years of his governance? He talks about the corruption which you've had in some cases where people have lost their post. But does he talk about unprecedented rights in these 10 years under leadership? The world's largest social welfare scheme, the world's largest right to work, Manrega, the right to education, the right to food.
You are serious,
the right
Abhishek?
to information.
Where does it come from? About it?
This is leadership.
This happened in spite
this
of RTI.
Leadership.
This happened in spite of all the
So the good things which happen in spite of us. They happen by heaven. But the bad things which happen because of this. That's
it took our Prime Minister 1 year to respond to the CWG and 2G scam. It took him 6 months to speak on Lokpal. It took him 82 days on the impasse over the FDI in retail.
Yes,
It took
yes.
him 9 to the Delhi gang rape.
Yes.
It took him 9 for the beheading at the LOC. On 27th of August 2012, and I should not actually enter the debate at this point, but I am tempted to, when attacked by the opposition over his silence, he said, "Hazaron jawabon se achhi hai meri khamoshi, na jane kitne sawalon ki abru rakhe." In other words, it has been my general practice not to respond to criticism directed at me. My question is, can a leader retreat behind prolonged periods of silence when the need of the hour in this country is communication and accessibility? But in any case,
just one second, Arnab. I'm very happy that you raised the question of form over substance. A leader is not somebody who speaks more and does less. Let's take each of the examples. He doesn't speak about Lokpal, but who gives you Lokpal? Dr. Manmohan Singh, Congress, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. He doesn't speak about rape. Who gives you the Nirbhaya law?
That is too much. Manu, that is a little too much.
You gave us the RTI. You had 7 years. You gave us the right to food, the right to education. Yes, you do have a leader who says, "Main, mera, hum, main." Everything main. But what does he do?
I remember.
What has he concretely done?
I remember a prime minister.
Judge him by his actions, not by his words.
I remember a prime minister who said, "I don't know where the coal files went missing." But I will come to that later. Gaurav Bhatia, you had a rebut there for Dr. Singhvi, please. I'm sorry to have got tempted to get into the debate right at the start. I should have held myself back. Gaurav Bhatia. I'm not yet informed.
This includes my 2.5 minutes as well.
No, this is only your question.
Okay.
You've let the Congress off the hook?
No.
Because they let you off the hook.
I was very particular about my time because I'm used to you interjecting. So therefore, I wanted to make sure I'll get my share of time.
If you have a question. This time
now,
I won't.
I wanted to just correct Mr. Singhvi with utmost respect. He said that corruption has been handled with a tough hand and the Prime Minister intervened. I think with all the larger scams that happened, whether it was the CWG, whether it was the 2G where the Supreme Court had to interfere, and now again the Colgate scam, which is being heard by the Supreme Court, it is the judiciary of this country that came forward to hear the problems of corruption. It wasn't the ruling UPA government. I think it is time that they take responsibility for that. And it is not enough to just legislate. It is also important that the leaders learn the importance of leading by example.
Abhishek Singhvi, respond.
I think anything and everything which has happened, from Ashok Chavan resigning as Chief Minister before even a FIR is filed, from Mr. Natwar Singh leaving a post of Foreign Minister, from Mr. Raja leaving his post.
Comment, Mr. Ashok Chavan is let off. At least speak the truth, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi.
Let's change topics. Now, how many times, I want to know, when your president is found on candid camera, a person you've forgotten, it took you 2 years to set up a commission called the Tehelka Commission to find what the cameras had recorded. It took you another 2 years. Within 1 year, you reappointed Mr. George Fernandez. You did not take any action. Now the point is,
not make a right.
The point
it is time
is
that we stop pointing fingers at others.
If the court has wanted any assistance,
start explaining our own
the court
conduct.
has got its full assistance. Yes. There are inquiries about CWG. People have lost their post. Mr. Kalmadi is no longer having a position of power on suspicion. Nothing is proved against him yet. The point of the matter
Kalmadi today.
No, I'm saying that the person action has been taken. But can I say, Arnab, that you must catch somebody by the neck and hang him by the nearest pole before a conviction?
You didn't answer.
He doesn't enjoy any post.
No, his question was, we have a Prime Minister who is a specialist in giving himself a clean chit.
There is absolutely no reason why he should not give a clean chit on two fronts.
But then
one,
he gives himself
whenever there is an allegation of corruption, concrete action is taken, and there is absolutely nothing about the Prime Minister.
Dr. Singhvi.
Has there been any incident where the Law Minister of the country has seen the affidavit and has tampered with the affidavit before it is filed before the Supreme Court? And he had to resign. He had to resign for that.
Charge against any law minister, but yet the UPA former law minister left his post on what was deemed to be an impropriety.
Gaurav Bhatia, and by the way,
how many times the other parties have done this?
Let's give Abhishek Manu Singhvi a little round of applause. He needs some encouragement today because he's been on the back foot on the issue of leadership, but he's fighting back. Gaurav Bhatia, Mulayam Singh Yadav says, "मैं तो कोई साधु सन्यासी नहीं हूँ, मैं भी प्रधानमंत्री बनना चाहता हूँ." So tell us why हम मुलायम सिंह यादव को प्रधानमंत्री क्यों बनाएं?
Yes.
Why should we make him Prime Minister?
I have been there while Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav has made number of speeches. And he has always said one thing, that I want the maximum number of MPs from my party to win. and we have worked hard in the state of UP in the last 2 years. I have never heard him saying what you were saying here, but I would still add a caveat to that. Say if he has said that I want to be the Prime Minister of the country.
You haven't heard him. No. Fact check. I have a fact check.
Now this is the real Arnab coming. Let me have my 2.5 minutes for the first time. When I'm standing in front of you, just 2.5 minutes. I'll reply to every question that you ask me. I assure you that. Every person in the country can dream of becoming the Prime Minister. There is nothing wrong if you aspire to be the Prime Minister of the country. But ultimately, who decides the person who will be the Prime Minister? It is the people of India. If the people of India vote for Samajwadi Party and we get our 60 seats, 70 seats, and there is a third front government, and if the government, all the constituents decide that Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav would be heading that government, there is nothing wrong. So I don't know, when Mr. Narendra Modi talks about being the Prime Minister, it is fine. When Mr. Rahul Gandhi will be the Prime Minister, it is fine. But if it is a regional leader who has done a lot in public life, who has spent last 50 years delivering to the common man, then there is a question mark that why should he dream of becoming the Prime Minister? I think every citizen of this country can dream of being the Prime Minister of this country, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Now, thank you. I just want to, because we are meeting face to face in this debate for the first time, I allowed you there. But this is what he said on December 23rd, 2013. He says, "मेरे दिल में आग जल रही है." He says, "हमारे दिल में क्या आग नहीं जल रही है?" In the context of
this was a meeting at the party headquarters.
Yes.
And I know what exactly happened in the meeting.
Then he said, he
was addressing the party workers, and he said, "I urge all of you to go out to the field, let the people of the state know what all we have done in the last 2 years, and give me the maximum number of seats."
Why are you interrupting me?
I've learned that style from you.
हमारे दिल में क्या आग नहीं जल रही है? क्या हम कोई साधु सन्यासी है? You have made my son, the young son, the chief minister. What about me? मेरा क्या होगा? Will you not make me something?
Right.
Akhilesh Yadav is talking about, he's talking about himself.
I think
he's not talking about the people. He's talking about himself.
This is not what happened in the party.
You prove me wrong.
I will.
You prove me wrong.
Only if I'm allowed to speak.
You can't.
This is not exactly what happened in the party headquarters, but I think I have replied to the comment that you just read, that every person can aspire, can dream of becoming the Prime Minister of the country, as long as he enjoys the confidence of the common man, as long as he's serving the common man, and that is the foremost principle that we need to follow in public life.
Including Mamta Banerjee, and working hard to make Mamta Banerjee Prime Minister of India, taking part in our leadership debate. Our third speaker, his 2 minutes start now, Derek O'Brien. Derek.